As a former raw vegan hippie, I once believed that not cooking your food was best. You're not destroying anything, and that leads you towards eating the foods that you're most naturally designed for. Due to my claws, that's meat. But it doesn't seem to work out in my body. As much as I want to believe that cooking destroys enzymes and vitamin 6, I feel better with cooked food. And so I got a comment the other day asking, what's the best method? Least toxin producing? We should talk, because there's boiled meat is like the least toxic but least fun as well. Where's the sweet spot?
He's walking somewhere.
I remember a time where the only cooking method I ever used was steaming or really low and short boiling, where I would like boil water, pour broccoli in it, put the lid on, stir it a little bit. Stir it before you put the lid on, you piece of moron shit. Because that's not going to work. There's no spoon that can penetrate the glass. And then you take it off the heat and let it sit in that. And then you drink that water. So whatever nutrients you lost into the water, you're taking back in. Much better than people who are roasting vegetables and creating the black stuff. That's polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. You want that in your mouth? So here's what we know for sure. If you cook anything at too high of a temperature, there's like a cutoff point where it starts producing much worse toxins the higher temperature you go. So like the safest is boiling, which only gets to 212 degrees, something like that. And that's safe, and it's surrounded by water, it's protecting it. You start baking, okay, you're doing 350 now, and that's where you create the brown stuff that tastes nice, but that has a ton of toxins. The acrylamides and the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Those two things, there's studies that show they're bad, and they probably are. Should you worry about it? I don't know. Worrying probably causes more toxins than the actual polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. For me personally, when I was vegan at least, I would be boiling my potatoes always, or pressure cooking, which might be even better. I think it gets hotter, but it's less time cooking, so you have to weigh that out. These raw vegans with their dehydrated foods, it's like, I'm cooking under 118 degrees. Yeah, but you're doing it for 48 hours. And the oxidation of your blended bullshit is just succumbing to the elements at that point. So I don't think you're gaining anything, you flax cracker freak. So, boiling, I used to do. My fiance, she likes taste. So like she would never do that. So for her, she like pressure cooks and then slices and then covers it with whatever oil and then air fries that, and then it's all like blackened, and she picks around it. I don't know, I don't understand her thoughts, but it's much better tasting than just a plain boiled thing. But I like to err on the side of caution and do the healthiest option. When it comes to meat though, boiling has to be the least pleasurable way to eat meat, and I've noticed that it can make me queasy for some reason. Like pressure cooked meat does not digest the same. I don't know if it's the rendered fat. Something happens with the water. It's not right. So like on paper, that should be the healthiest. You pressure cook all your meats, low and slow. I don't know what it is about boiled meat. It's in the Bible too. They say like if you're eating lamb, you roast it by the fire. Never have it boiled or something. There's something in there along those lines. So I don't know, there's something to it. I seem to overeat on it maybe, because it's so bland and the texture is boring. I just keep wanting to eat. I'm like, this can't be all I'm eating. I get more, right? And then I overeat. So it's bad news. So another sweet spot would be roasting at a low temperature for a long period of time, which is what I've been doing lately with the lamb legs. 250 degrees or less for like 4 hours, 5, sometimes 6, depending on when I wake up. It's good. It's tasty. It's tender like a pressure cooked meal, but you get a little browning, a little bit of acrylamides and the polycyclics. The reality is it's tastier to cook your meat in an oven. I'm with you. Just don't go overboard on your searing of the steak at super high temperatures where your tallow is smoking and you're starting fires and you want the blackened meat. Like, frying is not inherently unhealthy. If you do it at a low temperature, you put it on like 2 or 3 and you wait for it to heat up a bit, and then, okay, you're frying food, but it's slow and slow. It's pretty good. So like, I like to bake and roast at slow, but some people want to broil after to get the ultimate crunch, and you're playing with God's fire at that point. I don't think you need it. It's not that much better. It's kind of nice sometimes. Make that occasional with your grilling and your smoking. Smoked meat has to be like one of the most carcinogenic ways to eat meat. Like, you're literally creating toxins from the smoke, and that's surrounding your meat and cooking it. Delicious. I want to get one. I have an apartment. I want to smoke it inside and breathe in the love. But like, don't do it. I just took back that fireplace because it produces toxic off-gassing fumes. I got the sentence out. So it's like Chinese chemical warfare. I don't need that in my life. It was a nice, healthy look and glow on paper, but if you turn the heater on, it's bad news. Something you might not have considered. If you pay too much attention to getting the most flavor out of your meal, I feel like God is mad at you at that point. Just eat the food for nourishment. We gave you that. I just remember a moment in the Bible where, I don't know, Moses went up the mountain or something. People are mad. They're in the desert. They got no meat. And they're like, come on, God, we want meat. Where the hell is it? And they were just like, God's just like, really, you dirty ant? All right, here, have the meat. I like to think God is happier if you just eat normally and you don't go through all these lengths to get the caramelized onions and everything. I could be wrong. I likely am. So cook with water where you can. Slow, low temperatures are best. And occasionally, okay, you get a crust on something, you make something crispy. Air fryer, okay. I still air fry certain cuts of meat. The lamb chops, they're best in an air fryer. I'm not against it. I don't think it's like super harmful. I'm eating saturated fat. I'm protected. That's the thing that's harming me. You could still thumb up the video. Thumbs down if your favorite cooking method is holding a lighter up to your sandwich. There's gas. The fumes of the gas. It's not clean burning fuel. It's not an organic lighter. You should have got one of those. You didn't. I'm going to buy curtains. There was a bird. There's lots of them. They eat McDonald's now. Subscribe for more videos. And don't even mention sous vide. I know I'm going to get comments. I just realized it. I'm like, oh, that's the best. Low temperature in water. It's in plastic. You're cooking in a plastic bag. Who convinced you of that? Oh, you've lost your marbles. You'd be better to set marbles on fire and throw them at your meat. I've done it.